Hello friends, welcome to Adda 247, the official YouTube channel of Bankers and SSC Adda, and you are watching the Hindu editorial show with Saurabh Day. जी हाँ माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, मैंने आज आपको बताया ही था कि आज शाम को आपके लिए एक सरप्राइज है और सरप्राइज यही है कि द हिंदू एडिटोरियल शो आज से हम स्टार्ट करेंगे, जहां से हम द हिंदू का जो एडिटोरियल होगा जो कि आपके कॉम्प्रीहेंशन, क्लोज टेस्ट, रीअरेंजमेंट एंड अदर पार्ट्स ऑफ एग्जाम के लिए बेहद इंपॉर्टेंट है। तो हम लोग इस एडिटोरियल को डिकोड करेंगे और इस टफ एडिटोरियल को एकदम सिंपल तरीके से आपको समझाएंगे। आवर जॉब ओवर हियर इज टू एक्सप्लेन यू, गिव यू अ पॉइंट बाय पॉइंट explanation of whatever that was given in today's editorial. So I suppose that all of you are watching this show right now, and I suppose we should start now. So let's have a look at the first slide over here. All right, now you can see, well, today the editorial that we have picked up, it's notes for a cashless economy. And ultimately, the opening lines of this particular editorial concluded the two things, and they were right here in points. The first point was that there has been a drastic change in our economy after the PM announced the demonetization of rupees 500 and rupees 1000 currency notes. I think all of us remember that epic November announcement, due to which a lot of people, in fact, faced a lot of problems following those days. But then again, that was actually a very historic decision, and that's what we have put in the first point, that there has been a drastic change in our economy after the PM announced the demonetization of rupees 500 and 1000 currency notes. Look, the second point that we have given over here is the everyday transactions of everyone from the top to bottom has got transformed into digital transactions. Actually, see, it was mentioned that something from the top to the even to the people who are down below. It means from the top businessmen and to the people who belong to the lowest society, like your cobblers and everyone, even everyone, be it a businessman, be it a cobbler, be it a vendor, everyone is actually using digital transaction, digital currency. So that's what was mentioned in the opening lines. Now let's move on and let's go to the next slide. Let's see what more was there in the subheading. All right, see, this is the first subheading that was given in that particular editorial. It was the biggest reform with a purpose. Now, this was the first subheading, and whatever that was given in this particular subheading has been summarized into these 3 points. The first point is the volume of digital transactions has increased many folds, and digitally literate youth must guide the way. See, ultimately, since cash transactions are on a decline, ultimately that means only one thing, that digital transactions are on the rise, and it has increased many folds, all right? And the digitally literate youth, that is you guys, must guide the way, and you must treat and you must teach actually to all those who are semi-literate or illiterate how to use this particular digital transaction using various applications that can be available in your Play Store. Now, the second point over here is it was done to curb black money, that's the thing, corruption, and counter the menace of fake currency being generated by ISI. It would boost the GDP in the long run. See, the primary motives why was this particular step of demonetization was taken, it's mentioned right here. It was done so that black money can be curbed, corruption can be reduced, and counter the menace of fake currency that was being generated by the ISI. That's definitely, I suppose you know what is ISI, and it would boost the GDP in the long run. All right, now let's have a look at the last point over here. It's given the Prime Minister knew of the temporary difficulties that the common man will face, but went ahead with the demonetization, and it would demolish the parallel economy being run by the black money holders. I think all of us know how tough it is actually to get cash, whether it's from the ATM or it's from the bank. All right, the Prime Minister knew of all such temporary difficulties that the common man will face, but ultimately he went ahead with the step of demonetization because he knew the parallel economy that's there because of the black money, it needs to be demolished, and that's why it was done. I hope that you were able to get this so far. Let's move on and let's see what's given in the next slide as well. Okay, I suppose all of you are actually enjoying it. Yes, I hope. Now, let's have a look. See, here's the third slide over here. All the necessary precautions were taken. All right. Now, see, this is the subheading of not a certain decision, and what's written in it that we have summarized in these 3 points. The first one was all the necessary precautions were taken. The first step was the formation of SIT on black money, headed by former Supreme Court Judge M.B. Shah. I suppose you know that the moment that very shortly after the India government that came to power, all the necessary steps were taken, and actually they formed the SIT right away, which was headed by a former Supreme Court judge, Mr. M.B. Shah. Now, the second point is given over here. At the G20 summit that was held after Mr. Narendra Modi came to power, all right, at the G20 summit, Honorable PM Shri Narendra Modi took up the issue of black money, and it was included in the final communique. Look, after every big summit of whether it's called, whether it's the G7 or it's the G20 or even the recently concluded Heart of Asia summit, such summits do give you a final communique, whatever that was decided and whatever the resolution of that particular whole summit. And see, even in the final communique of the G20 summit, that was done, that took place after PM Narendra Modi became the Prime Minister. The black money, the thing of black money, the issue of black money was included in that final communique. All right, let's have a look at the final point. It's given over here. The Black Money and Imposition of Tax Act 2015 with 60% tax, Constitution of MAG, all right, on Panama paper leak and Benami transaction bill, along with DDAA, that is your double tax avoidance agreement, especially with your recent ones that you can say that your Mauritius and one more country was there. It's given in the editorial with tax havens. These are tax havens. Were some important steps taken by the government against black money. So you can say that demonetization was not the first step. Primarily, the first step was the formation of SIT on black money. Then the second step was the final communique at the G20 summit. Then followed by Black Money Imposition Tax Act 2015, in which it's also known as the income declaration scheme, with the 60% tax, and Constitution of MAG on Panama paper leaks and Benami transaction bill 2015, along with the DTAA that was there. So I hope that you were able to grab the contents over here. Now, yes, let's go to the next slide and let's have a look what was there. All right, let's move to the next one. See, here's the next heading over there, support and the roadmap. See, this is the next subheading and we have summarized whatever was given in it. The first point is the recent wins of BJP in Maharashtra, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat shows the support that the government is receiving from the common man who is bearing the brunt of the demonetization. Actually, there were some municipal elections in your Maharashtra and Gujarat, and there were bypolls in your Assam, Arunachal Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. And of all of these places, BJP was able to win, and in a really nice way, all right. And it clearly shows the support that the government is receiving from the common man who is bearing the brunt of this demonetization. The second point over here says, this has given a special boost to the Prime Minister's agenda of promoting digital currency and its transactions even with a complex society like us. See, whenever we talk about Indian societies, cash plays a big role. But despite all this special step of your demonetization gave a special boost to the Prime Minister's agenda of promoting digital currency and its transactions. All right. Now, let's have a look at the last point over here. According to MasterCard, India has the largest usage. SIT is actually your special investigation team, by the way, Varsha Chaudhary. Now, the last point over here, according to MasterCard, India has the largest usage of cash, which boosts the grey economy, that is the economy formed by black money. But now reduced use of cash will ensure reduction of black money and boost the coffers of the government. Now, obviously, see, when a lot of digital transactions will take place then, and instead of cash, then most probably it will be very easy to track, the negative people, the wrong people, the black money holders. So it will be very easy to track them. All right. So that's why perhaps it's very easy. It's very important, in fact, for India to ensure that digital currency is used to the fullest so that cash can be reduced and such black money holders can be caught. Now, let's go to the next one and let's move to the last slide of the day. Most probably that'll conclude today's editorial show. Well, here's the last heading. It was Jan Dhan, Aadhaar and Mobile. Now, this is the last heading of the day. It was more of a subheading. Now, here are the points that summarize whatever was given in there. The PM has steered the economy in the right direction for people to move towards digital transactions, right from Jan Dhan Yojana to JAM, that is your Jan Dhan, Aadhaar and Mobile, and other initiatives like Mudra Bank. All right, Prime Minister has always been there when it comes to steering the economy, that was given in this particular editorial, in the right direction for the people to move towards digital transactions. That was your Jan Dhan Yojana, to your Jan Dhan, Aadhaar and Mobile, and other initiatives like Mudra Banks. All right. Now, two more points are over here. And that is Aadhaar acts as an important link which enables every common citizen to connect directly with the government, removing the middlemen. So that's the most important part. A Moody's report shows the impact of digital transactions at 0.8% in developing nations as against 0.3% in developed nations. All right. So that's the thing. Now, all of you know that how tough it was to simply get, a ration card before Aadhaar came into play. Now, since Aadhaar card has come, it actually links the various schemes of the government with the common man, removing such middlemen that were there and who charged a hefty fee for the people to enable and to ensure the usage of government scheme. But since Aadhaar card has been there, it has reduced drastically. And also a Moody's report shows that the impact of digital transactions on developing nations is 0.8% compared to 0.3% in developed nation. Now, at last, I'd like to conclude with this particular point that 250 to 300 on 1,033 million mobile phones are smartphones in India. All right, that means this particular thing of 250 to 300 of 1,033 million mobile phones are smartphones in India. And the government of India wants to ensure that every transaction takes place by phones in India. All right, so that was all in this particular editorial session. Now, all of you can tell us that what more do you want in this particular editorial show. I hope that you were able to grab the points that we discussed over here, because these are extremely important for your comprehension, close test and rearrangements. If you want some more vocabulary, some more idioms and phrases, or some more things, some more additions, you are most welcome to give us your suggestions in the comment section. I hope that you enjoyed today's The Hindu editorial show, and we'll be back very soon. Thank you.